When you first start playing a LEGO game, one of the first things you experience is the hub world. It's a gateway to levels, characters, cheat codes, and the curious yet frightening concept we call extras. Every LEGO game has differences made to the hub world, making LEGO hub worlds more unpredictable than a game of Among Us. In order to start out simple, let's look at where it all began.
Wow! What do you know?
Once you boot up a new save file, you're introduced to the first ever hub world in a Traveler's Tales LEGO game. It's been well documented in all the history books, and it's required material for all high school freshmen in the state of New Jersey. It really needs no introduction. What's interesting about this hub world is that it's probably more iconic than the actual location it's referencing. It comes from a scene that isn't even represented in the game, whether it be a level or a cutscene. It's strange that they chose this to be the hub world instead of the Jedi Temple or something like that. Right from the get go, you see an establishing shot that gives you a glimpse into the life of a humble basilisk and his little Coruscant diner. In my opinion, this is an incredible way to introduce the hub world. There's no need to tell the player where to go or what to do. It's instantly understandable that this is the place where you'll rest your head after a long day of playing levels. You're granted access to Episode 1, with Episodes 2 and 3 being locked, along with a mystery door that could lead to anything. When you get an urge to participate in the economy, you can head over to the bar counter where you can buy three different things: hints, characters, and extras. Both rooms for the first two episodes are exactly what you'd expect, except for the Episode 3 room, which adds some darkness and spookiness. After seeing all of this, I know what you might be thinking. So what? It's a building with some doors and a shop. I don't need LEGO Star Wars for that. I already have the FDR Presidential Library and Museum. Well, my friend, one thing that the FDR Museum doesn't have is vehicles parked outside. Wait, seriously? Okay then. But I guarantee you that those vehicles are not made of mini kits. Sorry, I was kind of expecting a visual contradiction to come out. Oh, you've got to be kidding me!
New card. What do you think?
Whoa, very nice. Look at that.
It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing. Look at this.
Since LEGO Star Wars 2 covered completely different movies, it makes sense to use a different setting for the hub world. And they chose a place that's way more iconic than Dexter's Diner. Mos Eisley Cantina is one of those places that's etched into popular culture. Even if you've never seen a Star Wars movie, I'm sure you've at the very least heard of Mos Eisley Cantina. It's a sharp contrast from Dexter's Diner, which in order to recognize that, you need to sacrifice any chance you had at getting a girlfriend. In terms of the hub world itself, there are a lot of new things to talk about. One of the first things you'll notice is the new progress projector. This has been so prevalent in future LEGO games that I didn't even realize it wasn't in the first game. If you try to 100% that game, you'd have to manually check every single level and hope that you didn't accidentally miss something. But in this game, not only does it show you what percentage you've completed, but also the specific collectibles as well. There's also a new area where you can do bounty hunter missions after you've unlocked all the bounty hunter characters. The shop returns, with two new sections to buy gold bricks and rewatch cutscene. Wait a minute, is that what I think it is? Yes, the first ever custom characters in a LEGO game. Mix and match pieces to make yourself, your friend, or whatever comes to mind to let your imagination run wild. To the right of that is another one of those doors that we're used to seeing, which leads to one of the weirdest areas in the game. The outside, riddled with mini-kit ships, garbage bins, and lust. Bloodlust, to be exact. Once you enter the outside for the first time, you'll never be the same again. You'll go from a child to a man. But I don't like violence. Let's go back inside. In my opinion, this was a pretty good hub world. It had everything the original had, but with new features and a new environment. With a complete saga coming next, I wonder what new location they could have.
Find Peter Parker! Great, it's just some random guy.
Well, turns out they used Mos Eisley Cantina again. It's not really a big deal, especially since they remade it, but it still would have been cool to see another place as the hub world. The shop is back as usual, and next to the episode 1 room is a strange door with clashing lightsabers instead of a number. Could this be a new bonus level? This is actually the arcade mode, which is probably the least popular mode from this game. To its right are the main levels, of course, and farther to the right gives us a door to the bonus levels. In terms of the custom characters, those are placed opposite of the shop. The outside part was changed to an enclosed space, and it seems that the minikit vehicles are nowhere to be found. So where are they? In order to see them, you have to go to this computer monitor, and then you can scroll through them. Since there are 36 levels in total, the outside would have to be really large to fit all those minikit vehicles. And I think this method is a very creative fix. Since the same location was used as a hub world, there's not much to talk about, but the next game explores a completely different franchise. There are a lot of really cool locations in the Indiana Jones franchise, although almost all of them are places in real life. I'm sure you've already heard of Egypt, Italy, and China, but if you've never seen Indiana Jones, you've probably never heard of Barnett College. That's right, I know what you're thinking. LEGO games and college debt finally brought together. This is where Indiana Jones canonically works as a professor of archaeology, and I think it works well as a hub world. Instead of having one single shop, characters, extras, cutscenes, and cheat codes are spread out across different rooms. They're all contextualized too. So, for example, the cutscenes are viewable in the film room. Another notable one is the extras, which you collect in levels by putting postage boxes into a mailbox. After you complete the level, you can go to the mail room and there'll be a new mailbox that gives you an extra when you buy it. Pretty neat indeed. And that's not all. In the top left of the main room, you have access to all your treasure builds as well as 3 bonus levels. Plus, going in the first door on the right puts you in a hallway which leads you to the custom characters. I can definitely see why this is considered one of the best LEGO games of all time. But what will Traveler's Tales do with a non-Lucasfilm property? I guess we'll have to see.
I know where you live.
Whenever Batman is brought up, I'm sure a couple of locations come to mind. Arkham Asylum, Wayne Manor, but there's one that stands out for this video specifically. Whenever Batman is translated to a video game, this place is almost always used as a hub world. England. You know, the place from that one episode in the animated series. Fun fact, that episode did so well that they actually turned it into an actual place. I've been there. It's pretty cool. Actually, though, it's the Batcave. Right from the start, we see 3 vehicles that represent the 3 chapters of the game where we can enter levels. When we go backwards and to the right, we find an elevator which brings us to the trophy room to see our minikit builds and a bonus level. The left elevator brings us to the Batcomputer room. I've always wanted to see Batman's search history. On this thing, we can buy pretty much everything we would want to buy. Characters, extras, and the new suit upgrades as well as the option to rewatch cutscenes. Below the Batcomputer is an area where you can test all the suits in the game. Overall, there could have been more, but it wasn't too bad. The next game, on the other hand, has a lot to talk about. Wait a minute. What's that lever do? I don't think I pulled it yet. Probably dropped some studs or something. I guess I'll check just to make sure. Ooh. Well, looks like I almost missed something. And there's a whole other hub world to explore. Once you pull the lever, you get transported into Arkham Asylum, home of the worst criminals in Gotham. I'm sure you've heard of them before. The Riddler, Clayface, Catwoman, the Penguin, Two-Face, and One-Face. They're all here, along with their goons. In Arkham, you can access a hacked Batcomputer as well as the villain versions of levels. There's also a room where you can make custom characters. You might think that TT Games would bring this to the next game, but they actually chose to try something completely different. Possibly one of Traveler's Tales' most controversial games, LEGO Indiana Jones 2 did something completely unique for the hub worlds. For the first time in a LEGO game, it actually has multiple hub worlds, 3 for the classic movies and 3 for the Crystal Skull. You're restricted to certain sections throughout the story, but once you complete the movie, you have access to the entire thing. For the classic movies, each hub world features multiple locations, which is kind of weird for certain parts. For example, the first movie goes from a snowy mountain straight to a desert, but it's not something that I think about too much. When you're roaming around, you can buy characters and vehicles, as well as find differently colored bricks that unlock extras. There's also some bonus levels you can find that were created in the level builder. One thing that's strange to me is the fact that you can't use characters from a movie in a different hub world. If they're not in the movie, they can't be played in the movie's hub world. A big part of LEGO games is free play mode, and it is in this game, just not in the hub world for some reason. I think it's nice to have so much content in the different hub worlds, but it seems that the levels were hurt because of this. Levels are way shorter than previous games, and they don't even have mini kits, although I guess I'd rather have a large hub world than none at all. This game didn't really sit well with critics, so let's see what TT will do next with this feedback.
Thank you.
Any reaction to what the president said about locking him up?
It seems that after the LEGO Indiana Jones 2 controversy, TT Games went back to the original hub world format of the previous games, although this time with a twist. This game's main hub world is Diagon Alley, which I don't think is necessarily the most iconic place in the Harry Potter franchise, but since there are a bunch of shops and stuff, all the elements of the hub world can easily be contextualized. I always love whenever developers do stuff like this, making the game feel like an actual lived-in place. It makes me feel like I'm actually outside and not in my basement playing a LEGO game from 2010. If this was the entire hub world, I would say that it's pretty good, but there's even more to check out. In the back of the leaky cauldron, there's a passageway, and if you go in it, it leads you to a place I'm sure you're aware of, even if you're not a Harry Potter fan. Hogwarts. I'm not really sure if this is meant to be part of the hub world, because if you pause the game in Hogwarts, it will say you can return to the leaky cauldron, as if it's a level. But since it kinda has that vibe, I'll consider it part of the hub world for now. During the story, you'll go through various lessons that'll take you to different classrooms, and during your off time you can explore to find postage boxes scattered throughout the place. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. There's also Nocturne Alley, where all the bad guys are, along with the bonus level. There's a lot of stuff to discover in this hub world, and there's certainly an argument to be made that this is more of an open world than a hub world. It feels like a nice place to unwind, and it seems TT Games realized this and utilized this formula in the next few games.
Don't shoot! I'm not the commander. He's the commander. Guess I'm the commander now.
With Traveler's Tales' return to LEGO Star Wars, it seems that they chose to carry over hub world elements from LEGO Harry Potter and make something new out of it. This game covers the Clone Wars TV series, and each episode generally takes place on a completely different planet. So where could there possibly be a hub world? In a lot of episodes of the show, especially in the earlier seasons, characters tend to start and end the episode in their respective capital ship. So why not make that the hub world? It honestly makes perfect sense to me. The place where the characters rest their heads is the same as where you do. Once you complete the first level, you'll be put in the tower control room of a Republic Venator. Standing next to the table gives you access to the levels as well as some other things. And once you're done with that, you can go in the elevator to see the lower levels and experience some epic music. Going to the left will bring you to the medical room with custom characters, and the elevator here leads to the minikit characters. To the right is the prison where you'll find some characters locked up during the story, And another elevator on this floor leads to the port, where you can spawn any ship you've unlocked. And hey, if you ever feel like experiencing the horrors of war, take it out for a spin and try to avoid the floating traffic cones. Just like Lego Batman, this game has another section of the hub world meant for the villains, although this time you can go there as a hero. Here, the text above the tables is red, and there's a lot of new rooms to explore, the most notable being the returning bounty hunter room. Once again, red bricks are found in the hub world, but something new that came to the hub world was characters. For most of the previous games, you unlock characters through a singular shop, but in this game, you'll just find them walking around. There are some other rooms with mini games and other things like that, but other than those, that was all for the hub world. LEGO Star Wars 3 is pretty beloved, but I rarely see people talk about the hub world, so it seems this game is more level centric. But with a new franchise coming next, who knows what TT Games will do?
Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! SpongeBob, careful! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob! Careful, SpongeBob!
Patrick, the lid's already off.
Oh,
While this game got mixed reception from critics, one element that wasn't controversial was the hub world. A lot of people have good things to say about it, and I can definitely see why. The location they chose was Port Royal, which, just like the capital ships in LEGO Star Wars 3, makes sense in context to the franchise. It's where most of the main characters live, and it's the first place we ever see in the franchise, so this is the first thing a lot of people think of whenever the franchise comes up. Once you start the game for the first time, you'll be restricted to this little square with nothing more than a pocket of water and the level select. Once you start to unlock golden bricks, you'll get access to two more sections. Red bricks and characters are once again scattered in the hub world. The left area gives you access to a couple of buildings, and the first one doesn't really have a distinct purpose, it's more so just set dressing with some extra studs. The second one gave us a room to watch cutscenes in. Hey, did you guys notice that LEGO Star Wars 3 doesn't have a cutscene viewer? I could have sworn it did. Anyway, there's a third building that at first glance looks inaccessible, but if we put this barrel in the ground and run on it a little bit, and run on it a little bit, whatever, we get access to the custom characters. The right side doesn't have as much. There's a tower, mini kits, and a couple of other things, but that's about it. I think the reason people look so highly on this game's hub world is the atmosphere, not necessarily the functionality. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, depending on your point of view. I guess we'll find out what TT Games will do next as they return to the Harry Potter franchise.
Look!
At first glance, it might seem like this game reused the hub world of the original game, but in reality it's more of a remake. This version is way larger than the original hub world, with a decent amount of new areas added. We start off in the Leaky Cauldron just like last time, although there was a small change made. Where you buy the extras was actually moved to the upstairs part of the building. Going through the back door of the Leaky Cauldron leads us to that place from Batman. Here we can go into some shops and enter platform 9 3/4. Getting on the train leads us to Hogsmeade Station, and doing a bit of walking brings us to Hogwarts. Hogwarts itself was made a bit smaller this time around, but it still gets the general idea across. This was probably done because of all the new areas, and also if they kept the entire Hogwarts from the original game, you might get lost. Back in Diagon Alley, we have a brand new building where you can buy some extra spells and enter cheat codes. In Nocturne Alley, you can buy additional gold bricks and play the bonus level. In terms of collectibles, extras are back to being postage boxes found in the hub world, while characters are once again purchased at the shop. That was about all of the changes in this game. I'm not really sure what the general consensus on this hub world is, but since it's more of an add-on than a new hub world, it's probably not known fondly. For the final game I'm checking on this video, the same can certainly not be said.
He's here.
I hate him.
There he is.
I hate
He's right here. He's right here. Look.
You have a lot of nerve to show your face
Yeah,
around
you
here.
got, you know,
Son of a
you
bitch.
are a real beak breaker.
Say goodbye to the hub world, my friends, as we venture into the heart of Gotham City in LEGO Batman 2 DC Superheroes. While we do start in the Batcave, the entirety of Gotham City is at our fingertips. It's divided into 3 islands, with the middle one being the main one and the 2 others being the outskirts of the city. And Arkham Asylum is loosely connected to the top island, kind of like Alcatraz Island. If you want to go to a specific place, you can fast travel or take one of the many vehicles to get there. Want to ogle some flora? Go to Botanic Gardens. Want to see where Jack Napier became the Joker? Go to Ace Chemicals. Want to become a politician? Why? Why would you want to do that? If you don't have any destination and just feel like exploring, you can do that as well, and possibly find one of many gold bricks, red bricks, or citizens in peril. Instead of just roaming around for no more than 30 minutes like in previous games, you can sink hours into the world to slowly find and solve puzzles one by one. In this game, Gotham City really is your whatever Batman's equivalent to an oyster is. And there's also civilians roaming around too. So if your parents don't let you play GTA, you can still get the feeling of running over random people for no reason other than you're bored. It seems that this formula was so successful that TT Games put it into some of their future games, although not all of them. I can definitely see why this one is so beloved. That's once again going to be it for this video. If you'd like me to do a part 2 of this video, or a part 2 of my previous video about extras, please let me know in the comments. I'm also open to ideas of completely new videos as well. I hope you enjoyed it. If you had any criticisms about the video, tell me those as well so I can improve my videos in the future. I'd like to give a big thank you to my channel members, Arpai Howard, Aiden Ottolini, and Jack Chap 1. Thanks for supporting me. Bye guys, I'll see you later.